this podcast, we cover sensitive subjects such as abuse, suicide, self-harm, depression, and other difficult topics. We are not medical professionals. We suffer from our own mental health issues. Our opinions should not be taken as medical advice. Dread the Stigma is for educational purposes and awareness for mental health only.
What's happening, guys? Wanted to start doing little videos, just a lot for content, and a lot of these videos will have a lot of meaning. For instance, as you see in the title, it is simply "You Are Not Alone." Before I get into some things I have on my mind, the reason that there is a reason you guys may have noticed that the Dred the Stigma podcast has not been going live. There's been a couple reasons. My current situation, I don't have a whole lot of really good, I don't have good Wi-Fi. And that causes problems, obviously. So, and the second reason being that Lydia and myself are working on a project entitled Hell's Gate, very early pre-production, going through casting and whatnot. It's an Aaron Hawkins film. He's the director, and so we've been pretty busy. That with their 9-to-5s and Lydia having children, it's tough to unfortunately keep up the consistency and the commitment. But it does not mean in any way, shape, or form that this is mental health awareness. We haven't lost any commitment to that. It's just, life happens and we're busy. Of course, a lot of you may know that, or some of you may know who, well, if not, you're going to know now. I've had a pretty rough year, and I know a lot of you have. There's been a lot of good things that happen. But with those of us with mental illness, and if you live with somebody with mental illness, or just, loved one, friends, whatever, then that sometimes, no matter how many good things happen, the bad always outweighs the good. A lot of that is that self-talk. I do that a lot. That little voice inside my head does not like me. There's a video that I if I would have thought about it, which I could probably still bring it up. But anyway, there's a video out there by there's one of Chester Bennington, of course, Lincoln Park. One of the last videos that he did before he took his own life. Just making sure the dogs ain't getting into anything. And he describes it perfectly, that when he's in here, it's a very bad place. He can't be in there alone inside his own head. And I relate to that a lot. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this. Mrs. Dred's is at work. I'm here with the dogs, and I get into my head a lot. And a lot of times it's not positive. And I share these things and what I'm going to talk about to reiterate the point and the name of this video. You're not alone. I'm going to share my experiences so you know that, hey, everything isn't hunky-dory over here. And if it's not with you, which I know a lot of people where they're having a tough time in this life right now. And that's why I want to share a lot of, what I've been through. I'm not going to make this an entire hour. I'm just going to talk and share until I have nothing else to talk about. So what I want to talk about is back in March, right before Easter, there was an incident with our landlord at the time. And of no fault of our own, rent was caught up. Everything was good. And he decided he was going to try and evict us. We got a lawyer, and yes, it was an illegal eviction that he was trying. Took him to court, got a little settlement from it, nothing much. And that put us in a hotel because, well, we weren't planning on looking for another place. There was, really no reason. Did we want to get out of that place? Yes. Were we actively looking at the time this happened? No. That whole situation immediately just had me experiencing so many emotions. I was angry. I wanted to beat this guy's ass. I mean, it was going to turn violent on my part. Because the cops had to be called. My wife met him over there at one point. The cops had to be called because he was yelling and screaming at my wife. And it's a damn good thing that I wasn't there because I'd probably catch a case, no doubt. So being in, a hotel, we did not think, we figured because we had to leave. He said that there was a, water leak in some the underground plumbing, and it had somewhat flooded the neighbors. There was a couple, little apartments connected. This was only supposed to take a couple days. I've been in a hotel since March, since right before Easter. And it's been fucking hell. There's been a lot of times where my sobriety was at risk. I did not. I am still sober, but there were times where my sobriety was really testing me and my ability to handle shit. On the mental health side, I spiraled a lot. I openly talked during that time to my wife about, making a lot of uh, suicide comments. Um, some serious, others just wanting the pain to stop, just needing a break, I guess, in life, something to go right. Um, so it started to look that way as we decided, hey, we're going to look into buying a house. Uh, I had decent credit. We got pre-approved. Went through that whole shit show, which took months. And I understand that this is a very stressful ordeal to buy a house. I am not saying it isn't at all. Hold on one second. I'm not saying that it's not a stressful situation. What I am saying is a lot of us suffering from a mental illness. What is a just everyday life stressor, such as waiting for the whole buying a house um, process, which is a long process, getting the first time homeowners loan. What somebody without mental illness, would deal with that would probably be in a rational way, making rational decisions, understanding the situation, not letting it, being patient. This was not the case for me. I was getting angry because I was in the situation I was in because of that landlord, which numerous times I've said, and I still somewhat stand by it. If I ever see him in public, there's going to be a confrontation. If it gets physical, it gets physical, but I'm speaking my mind and he's not going to like it. I feel that I have to do that to satisfy myself somewhat due to the situation, because of him trying to evict us illegally. It has caused a lot of things. I haven't been able to do, as I mentioned, the Dred, the Stigma podcast. I do another podcast, the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. I have not been able to do that, again, due to my Wi-Fi. The things I love to do, that I'm passionate about, doing live shows, interacting with you guys, I haven't been able to do because of what this asshole did. And again, of no fault of my own, of my wife, it's no fault of ours that we are in this situation. We have been handed shit cards since the third month of the year. Now you can do the math from March till we're almost to Halloween, almost out of October. But a positive out of this is we're currently looking at a nice little house. Maybe things happen for a reason, that we're going to have to rent, which, as you guys know, it's a 3-bedroom house and rent is up there. But this is something we're working on. So there's a little positive, even though I'm still in the same situation and it's still equally as stressful. Luckily, though, I'm on medication. propranolol, something like that. Now I can't think of them now. Lexapro, and what's the Lamictal, all have, been seeming to work a little better. The propranolol helps with rage, and lowering your heart rate a little, so it doesn't you don't get the heart palpitations like you do when you get anxiety attacks. When that starts flaring up, it helps with that. It helps calm those physical reactions to an anxiety attack. And again, helps with rage, keeps you a little calm. Those have helped overall. Otherwise, I'd be changing it, because I have a really awesome meds doctor that is really open, and we talk about these things, what is best for me. And so far, this is work. And that doesn't in any way say that I haven't had any issues, as I've already mentioned. I don't, not even sure where I want to go with this. Again, I don't, going back to the whole point of not dealing with certain life stressors, like a lot of people, because I'm diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, BPD for sure, and that has really been an issue here lately with the stress, can start the spiraling process, and I've kept myself from spiraling on numerous occasions, luckily. But there have been times here of late that like I said, I've talked about a lot about wanting to take my own life, just within the past 6-7 months. I was always a cutter. I have not cut. I've not gone down that road, which is, again, been really hard, battling the sobriety, and battling the mental health aspect of it. It's really hard. Some of you may be going through it, and again, that's why I wanted to do this little video to let you know that you're not alone. I'm going through the fucking ringer, now. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Absolutely. I just mentioned that. Getting to that light sometimes is very, very difficult. And it has been that way for me. I don't mean to throw, a lot of cliches, but, it does, and it has gotten better. If I was drinking and didn't have the, year and a half sobriety under my belt, I probably wouldn't have handled any of this very well. There's probably 90% chance I would have cut. And actually, if I'm to be honest here, which I am, the last time that I cut, very superficial, nothing that needed stitches, like prior attempts, or just self-harm. A lot of it was just self-harm, trying to get the pain up here to stop by causing pain down here. It was very superficial, but that was back in that was probably right before all of this stuff with the landlord and everything started. So with all that being said, and I know it's just a little general look into what I've been going through. And I'm hoping it brings a little hope that you yourself, whatever you're going through, could be a lot worse than what I'm going through. And I mean, we're not comparing situations. It's not what we do. You're not alone. And I think we all have people in our lives that know no matter what, you always have somebody to take and call up and rant and, message. It's a big thing that on the Dred the Stigma Facebook group, that's one thing that we hope this group helps bring about: open discussion, talking about your problem. We're very much a judgment-free zone. I seen firsthand one of our members in the group having a tough time. And before you know it, myself and two other members in the group, the troops were called in, and we wanted to make sure that, hey, are you safe? Are you good? And that's what we want to do. That's what we need. We need open discussion, because with that, lastly, for this video, with open discussion and not being afraid to talk about your mental health issues. I mean, with that, with open discussion, you're going to let a lot of people know that, hey, you are not alone.